we don't need roads.
Maggie, seriously, what an absolute pleasure to chat with you. You are
You too.
unbelievably badass. So I am so excited to be able to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time.
Hi, Jake.
I'm going to jump into this because I got a ton of questions for you. Whenever I see a film like this, I always think about the incredible training that actors have to undergo, like how to hold a gun or shoot a gun and how to fight.
Sure.
And you don't forget those skills just because you wrap filming. So I'm curious, what is the coolest thing that you can still do that you had to learn because a character you played needed to know how to do it?
Yeah, it's really strange. Like, I'm a big, an activist, and I fight for animals and all this sort of stuff, and yet I know how to use any gun you can put in front of me.
That's kind of badass.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like, and I know them inside out. I can load them, I can clean them, it's really kind of crazy. So kind of the antithesis of who I actually am.
I work in a volunteer at an animal shelter nearby. I got my dog Daenerys, and if we were to walk together and just someone were to give my dog a hard time, could you whip out one of the prop guns and just be hey?
But especially if it was the dog.
Yes, I'm good. Yeah, honestly, me, I might have it coming, but the dog,
you might deserve it, but your dog definitely doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, but then to that point, I've always wondered, let's say hypothetically you were to go out with friends and grab a drink, and someone wanted to pick a fight.
Yes.
Do the fight moves that you've learned throughout your career, do they snap back in? Is it kind of do you remember whenever I was working on the Protege, I remember this goes to this, goes to that. Would it work like that?
I think it more is, it's like muscle memory, right? It just lives in you. Cause I kind of do that when I get into a new movie, going into this movie, I was like, oh, wow, I haven't done action at this level in a few years. And let's see how this goes. And then, when we start getting into the choreography, and in 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is fine. It's fine. But I was a little am I still at the level? So it was really funny. So I guess, muscle memory speaks a lot. Thank God.
It's almost like driving a car after you haven't driven a car for a while.
100%. You really still can do it no matter how much you doubt yourself.
Yeah. What I love about your character is obviously she was taught so much growing up about what it means to be in this profession. I was wondering if you could equate that to this industry. In this industry, what is the most important lesson that you taught whenever you were coming up in entertainment? And more importantly, who's the person that taught it to you?
I think that for me, one of the most important things was that you have to do it for the right reasons. And I know that sounds really general, but it's really not. It's very specific to how you're going to grow. I mean, if you want to be famous or you want to be rich, or you want to do something else. Because what it takes to make it in this business is so difficult that you really gotta love it. And if you're not doing it for the right reasons, you might get lost in what it is that you're trying to give people and what it is you're trying to accomplish. It starts to get up here.
When you work with people, can you tell pretty instantly if they're doing it for the right? Can you?
100%. Yeah.
Are there telltale signs you just did thing X?
Yeah. And the way that people speak and carry themselves. And also, if you're working together on a set, right? If it's not all about the work, then why are you here?
Yeah. Yeah.
For me.
You're talking about Michael Keaton, aren't you? You're he just wants to be famous.
So lazy.
Yeah, terrible. Doesn't care about the craft.
Totally doesn't. He wins Oscars just for funsies.
Yeah, just who doesn't? Who doesn't?
He tripped over him. It's wonderful to work with actors at that level because I wish that I'm not a young actor, but I wish that all young actors could have the experience to see these guys work. People like this, veterans, because I think that they would gain such an important work ethic and such a great view on the who and the why of it all, because these are the kinds of actors who come to play. They're not there to mess around. They're not there to be self-important. It's really about the work, and that's why they get to the level they get to.
And people like you make it look easy because because you bust your ass. As we wrap up, I do want to ask about this character, because while we do find out a lot about her, I also get this impression that she's just lived this whole life that we never really get to know as much about, just endless stories. I'm sort of curious, how much beyond the script and beyond what we find out within these 2 hours have you already developed in your mind?
Oh, so much. Oh, we had so much backstory on her, and it changed a lot too. And there were a bunch of scenes that got cut. So there were reveals and things that we had included that we didn't feel pace-wise we needed, or that we could maybe reveal later.
Oh, so save for part 2?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I like this. I'm down for it. I'm here for it. Or like we've seen that, like honestly, I'd love to see this character stretched out over, like I would follow this character for seasons. I would love to see it.
Oh,
Obviously you want to see this character on the big screen, but I would follow it weekly. We'll follow her weekly.
Cool. Oh, thank you.
Maggie, you are such a rock star. I cannot thank you enough I know you have a very busy day, so I appreciate you fitting me into your schedule. So seriously, thank you for taking the time.
We're happy you're here too. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Have a wonderful
Have a
day.
good day.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.